Give it 5 seconds. Hi, we're John, and this is Holly. We're Let's Go Now Adventures, and welcome. This is episode 2, season 1 of Let's Go Now Live.
Hi, so thank you so much for joining us today. You know, our mission with Let's Go Now Adventures is to help you have a fun outdoor experience, create lifelong memories, and have camping confidence for a more awesome adventure.
That's right. And so we're here right now in Lava Hot Springs, Idaho. So if you're in the southern end of Idaho, you'll want to make sure you do stop into Lava Hot Springs. It's a quaint little town. It's absolutely wonderful. And you know, one thing about Lava Hot Springs, bear with us, it's a train is going by. One thing about lava is there's always a train going by.
Lots and lots of trains all day long. So sorry about that. Of course, we planned it so that we would have a train going by right at 4 o'clock. Not.
Being the optimist that I am, though. At least the train started before we actually got into our content. We were just doing introductions. So anyway, I do apologize for that, and thank you. Once again, we're Let's Go Now Adventures, and we're here in southern Idaho. Anyway, Lava Hot Springs. So if you're ever in the area, part of southern Idaho, you're passing through, or you'd like to find a new destination, Lava Hot Springs can be a great place to stop. When you're in town, you've got to make sure you stop into the world famous Lava Hot Springs hot pools, because those pools are absolutely amazing. They've done a fantastic job with them. They're very pretty, and they're said to have had incredible healing powers, and I really do believe that they do.
Oh, I love their hot pools. So amazing. Not only that, but they have an amazing Olympic-sized pool that opens on Memorial Day and stays open all summer long. They've got 3 diving boards and tons of slides, and they've just barely opened up a wonderful new kiddie area that I know our grandkids have really enjoyed. So check it out here.
Yes, and we want to give a special shout out to the Port Neuf Bend Campground. They are hosting our live broadcast today. Big shout out to them. Here at the Port Neuf Bend, they've got 84 gorgeous, gorgeous campsites. You can see behind me over my shoulder, you're sitting on the bend of the Port Neuf River. So right here, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. These sites all have electricity. There's water on premises. They don't have sewer installed yet because of the proximity to the river. But we want to just give a special shout out to our friends here at the Port Neuf Bend Campground, Jenny and Cheryl, for allowing us to do our broadcast from here. So thank you very much from Let's Go Now Adventures.
So today we thought we would talk about, are you ready for the camping season? Now, some of you may be fortunate enough to be able to camp all season long. And if you live in a place like that, then I am jealous, because here in the Intermountain West, it's been a long, cold winter, and we are all anxious to get out and go camping. So on that note, have you thought about making your reservations? Now, a lot of places you can make your reservations for up to 6 months in advance. Some places it's even more. You can do it up to a year, but most places it's about 6 months. Now, not to discourage you, if you haven't made your reservations, there are plenty of campsites out there, tons of campsites, so don't let that discourage you. You can still get an awesome spot. Now, if you're looking to make a reservation, check out Reserve America or recreation.gov. Those are, wow, I feel like I'm yelling. We'll give it just 1 minute while we get this passed. I just think it's ironic that the train came through right as we started. Anyway, check out those wonderful places to make your reservations. And if you're not sure of how to make a reservation, I've got 2 videos out that will walk you step by step on how to make those reservations. So check those out on our site. Now, another way to go camping where you don't need a reservation is boondocking. And you say, well, what is boondocking, John?
Well, boondocking, it's got several names. You may recognize the other: boondocking, dispersed camping, dry camping, or even free camping. And what it is there are lands in the United States that are public lands. So for example, the National Forest lands, Bureau of Land Management lands. These are areas that are public lands where you can camp on them for free. You can go out, find an awesome spot, and just camp there. You can stay there in a lot of places for up to 14 days. So one thing you'll want to do though is check with your local BLM office or National Forest Service office and see if there are any restrictions. Some places you just can't go for some reasons, and you want to check for things like fire. Can you have an open fire in these places? During fire season, I know that here in the West, especially this last summer, everybody knows how bad it was in California and Oregon, and even here in Idaho, is that they do put fire restrictions on those dry camping areas. But boondocking can be wonderful. You're going to give up some hookups, some comforts, but you're also going to, the benefits of doing boondocking is that you'll be able to camp in your style.
Yeah.
You won't have your neighbors right next to you.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find that spot. You'll be able to just enjoy the peace that comes with being alone and finding that solitude.
Yeah, boondocking is amazing. So moving on to another one, what about, have you explored some new places? Now is a great time to look up some different places that you might want to try out.
So one place you can do it, like if you were looking for those boondocking sites or looking for new sites to go, is go to our channel. We do some videos on some of the campgrounds. YouTube is a great spot. You can always just put in the area of the country or the area that you'd like to adventure to, and just type that into Google search, and you'll have many blogs come up that have already gone there. They'll have pictures, they'll have directions, turn-by-turn directions on how to get to these awesome sites. The other thing is too, a lot of folks, they'll be stuck in a rut. They'll always want to go to the same lake every summer, and that's a valid reason, and it's because they have limited time, and they want to go to some place that they know that they're going to enjoy, so they go to the same spot every year. One thing is, camping is kind of an adventure, and if you get a chance, explore a new adventure, go some new places with your family. No matter what, if you're with your loved ones, wherever you choose to go, you're going to have a blast. So take a chance, roll the dice, try out some new areas.
Yeah, and you never know when you're going to find that hidden gem of a site that from then on out you'll go to every year after that. So explore some new places. Another thing is, what about getting some new gear? You know, now that camping season is just starting, what about treat yourself maybe to a new tent that you've had your eye on, or maybe that fun new camp stove that they've just put out?
Yeah, camping has a low startup cost. You can get camping for essentially what you have, or even just a couple of $100s in gear. You know, a tent, a stove, a lantern, maybe some sleeping bags, and you're good to go. But the nice part about it is it's scalable. You can upgrade your camping gear each season and add something new. If you saw our garage, you know that we've been camping for a long time.
Long time. Boy, I was just going to mention, doesn't it seem quiet now that train has gone by?
That's exactly right.
Okay, another thing is, now's a good time to think about planning some activities. Now, of course, when you get up to your campground or your camp spot, you're going to do the normal, whether it's taking a hike, boating, fishing, kayaking. But I'm thinking about maybe plan some extra activities, maybe like a fun skit that you could do around the campfire. Or how about bringing up some paint? The kids could paint rocks while you were getting dinner ready. Or throwing out a scavenger hunt that would be fun. Or just like a nature hike, looking for things and seeing how many things you can check off your list. You know, there's some fun things that if you take a little bit of time to do a little bit of prep work to get those ready, can really add to your adventure.
Oh, that's right. That's so much so.
So, John, what about getting the gear that you already have ready?
So one of the things that you want to do so you're ready to camp tomorrow is get your gear ready today.
Yeah.
It's very important that you check the things like your propane hoses, the seals, the O-rings on those propane appliances. Check for the cords on any anything electrical. Make sure that those are in good repair. If you need to repair them or replace them, when it involves those sorts of things, you want to make sure those are in good working order because those involve safety.
Another thing is fill up your propane. Get that all ready so you're not having to make that extra stop to fill that up. What about repairing some things? Maybe last year your tent got a rip in it from the wind. Ours did.
It did. And you want to find out that sort of thing before you get up camping, because if you had a little rip in the tent or that little grommet had come kind of loose, by the time the first windstorm comes by, that's going to be a big tear and that grommet's going to be pulled out. So if you can, repair them before you go. And that way it'll make your first camping outing of the season that much more enjoyable.
Right. Another thing that kind of goes on along with that is getting your camping stuff organized and cleaned. When the season starts, a lot of times like, hey, where's the lantern? Or where did you put that extra sleeping bag? By going through your gear and getting it all organized so it's in one spot, then when you come home from work, let's say on a Friday, and you want to just throw things in the car, throw things in the RV, they are all right there in front of you, and you're not like wondering where that lost thing is from last summer. Another thing is, what about getting everything cleaned and ready? A good spring cleaning on your RV, or maybe putting the tent up and sweeping it out because you put it away in a hurry last summer. Or how about, have you ever put away your cooler by accident with food still in it? Now, not a lot of food, but we've never done that, have we?
If you've ever done that, just give a big thumbs up to this live broadcast. We know that you're human too.
Yes, we've done it, so there's the laugh. Another thing to be thinking about are meals. You can always do the hot dogs and burgers up there, but now's a fun time to check out some fun meals. Throw your family a surprise and try a new recipe. I've put out some recipes that are fun, not only fun, but very easy, so that you'll have a successful meal when you go up camping. So maybe check out our other videos. Another thing to do is jump on Pinterest. They have some wonderful ideas of new ideas that you can try. John and I like to try our meals at home. We like to try a new tinfoil or a new Dutch oven dinner before we leave. So not only do we know that it's going to be good and we like it, but we can kind of tweak it to our likes and our tastes. So that's something that you may want to try.
That's right. And when you're camping, food tastes so much better.
It does.
You're going to be more active. You're going to be involved in more exercise than you probably are normally, and then you get to try some new meals and some new techniques. So those camping meals are the best.
Funny how food does taste better when you're camping.
That's right.
So another thing to be thinking about, what about brushing up on your skills before you head out?
Anyway, now's a good time to brush up on your skills. We've got camping just around the corner, so maybe work on that or learn some new techniques for starting a fire. Being able to go out there and start a fire with confidence, that's always good, and it looks good from the neighbors at the next campsite when you know what you're doing. The other thing too is you may want to check out our videos at Let's Go Now Adventures on tying knots. Some of those knots are excellent about tying your tent down or your awning down so that it stays secure in the wind and doesn't tear. The other thing you might want to do is brush up on some skills. It's a skill set that you hope you never use, and that's first aid skills. Make sure that you're up to speed on your first aid skills. When you're camping, things are going to happen. And so make sure you know how to deal with them. So not only do you have the skills, but double check that first aid kit to make sure that it's stocked. Now, the other thing you want to do is when you're brushing up on your first aid skills for humans, if you travel with the pet like we do, make sure you're up to speed on your first aid for dogs. Holly's got a great story.
So we just returned back from southern Utah, and that's when our first aid skills really came in handy. Murphy, our Newfoundland, our 150-pound Newfoundland with a long, beautiful coat of hair, went dancing, whatever. I'm not saying the right thing, but went running through a field of foxtails. So we came home with over 300 foxtails in his long, flowing, beautiful coat. So now Murphy, our Newfoundland, has a very short coat. In fact, he's shaved, and he is sporting a very fancy cone around his neck. Thanks, a big shout out to Mountain View Animal Hospital, who put Murphy under sedation and removed over 100 embedded foxtails. So knowing that that was a serious thing, we were able to get home before the infection had really truly started. We got him on some antibiotics, and now Murphy is recovering. So those skills do come in handy.
That's right.
You know, the next one that I'm a huge advocate for is journaling and taking your camera and taking pictures. You know, I take my journal everywhere. We keep it in the glove box, and not only am I writing down where we're going, you know, what the campsite's like, but the pros and cons, what we liked, what we didn't like, where we would like to try next time. And let's say you're at a campsite and 4 sites down is an absolutely beautiful site right next to the river, and you're like, I wish we were at that site. Mark it down so when next year when you go to make reservations, you'll know which site that was. Also, it's so important to document those stories and those, you know, adventures, the times that did go right and the times that didn't go right, because they do make for some awesome stories. Now, if you're not into journaling or writing things down, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So take your camera. John, now everybody has a camera nowadays. So take your camera, get out, take pictures of everything. I mean, you'll have wonderful stories to come back home and show your family and friends.
One great idea that you can do when you're on a camping trip, your group or your family, is before the camping trip even begins, tell everybody to take their cell phone or their camera, and you're assigning them, you're making them photojournalists.
Yeah.
And they are there to document through photos the whole trip. So the getting ready, the traveling, the getting there, the activities, the things you do while you're camping, the packing up, and then the trip back home. And then the nice thing about that, let's say you're a family of 4. Now you've got 4 people all telling, it's amazing, a different photojournalism story when you get back. And moms and dads, be aware, now you've got 4 photographers documenting the same trip. So you've got 4 times the number of photos that you can draw on for your scrapbooks and your memory books.
Well, and I think it's fun to see what the camp experience from their perspective, you know, what they thought was neat or what they thought was important, and then, you know, you bring it all together and you've got a true experience to look back on.
That's right.
So another thing is, do some prep work in making lists. Now, I am a list person. I totally believe in lists, and we use them all the time. I have a list for what I need to buy at the grocery store so I don't get up camping and don't have mustard or don't have buns. What about a list of making sure your RV is stocked, or what items you need to take so you don't get up and you don't have pillows? Now, pillows, there's a lot of things that could be worse. You could certainly make do, but by having those lists, you can make sure that you are ready and prepared to go. Now, the one thing about lists is, because we do have a lot of lists, the one thing about lists, now that you've made them, is to make sure you're using them.
We make the best checklists at our house. Now the trick is to use them.
That's funny. Okay, last but not least, you know, we like to end our lives on kind of a more personal note. And so we just wanted to say, are you ready for camping? You know, with camping season just around the corner, you know, do you feel ready to go camping? Camping it's real physical, and not that you have to be in the best shape. Heavens, we're not.
Yes.
But just maybe an extra walk around the neighborhood to, you know, get you a little bit more prepared, or lifting weights. Now, if you have a gym membership, great. If you don't, that's fine. Just maybe a little bit of lifting to help make camping just a little bit more easy, because that's what it's all about. A little bit more easy, a little bit more fun makes for a great camping experience.
So anyway, if you've loved this live broadcast that we've done today, make sure you do give it a big thumbs up. Also, we're going to be doing this live once again every Saturday afternoon from 4 p.m. and we'll be doing it in different locations as we are out on our adventures. So make sure you tune in Saturday afternoons, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, Pacific, you know, Central and Eastern, you do the math. And make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the videos that we put out either. You'll be notified of those videos and of our live broadcasts each time we do one. So we really do, from Holly and myself, John, Let's Go Now Adventures. Thank you for watching our broadcast today on the things you need to do to get ready to go camping.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.